Two, one. We are live. Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. My name is Robert Schinetsky, the supplement engineer. Joining me is my international band of brothers and supplement insiders, and Robert Samborsky, Apollon Nutrition, Shane Smith, Stack.com, Lukasz, Rytkowski, Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology. Welcome, my friends. Thank you for joining me. For the listeners tuning out on the live stream, thank you for joining us as always on these live streams. If you're catching us on the replay, give us a thumbs up, hit the like, comment, subscribe button, post a question down below in the comments, or shoot an email to thesupplementengineer@gmail.com for any issues, queries, quandaries, quips, or smart aleck remarks you'd like to send our way or questions you'd like to ask for us. Yeah, let's get rocking and rolling, guys. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday.
Happy Saturday. Guys, I just want to say something. I mean, just to take an opportunity that we are live and just wanted to congratulate, my team on the fact that yesterday was 13-year Apollon Gym anniversary. And today, surprisingly, today is 13-year Apollon Gym anniversary. And yesterday was Apollon Nutrition anniversary, kind of like one after another one. And I just wanted to thank everybody who made the brand grow, who made the gym popular, who helped along the way, including you, of course, guys. I really appreciate all your support for the past year. You've done a tremendous job helping the brand, helping us, and I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you so much. And to entire Apollon Gym and Apollon Nutrition family, happy anniversary, guys. I love you all. Thank you for everything.
Sending my check soon.
Yeah, happy anniversary to all the Apollon Nutrition family. That's pretty incredible, Robbie. So it's been 13 years since you. It's long. The gym's been around longer than 13 years. 13 years since you and your team have owned it and run everything.
The gym was founded in 1975, and it had, I think, 2 owners, and then we took it over in 2008.
Gotcha. Outstanding. Well, that's awesome. That 13 years, that's longer than most marriages last, so that's even better.
That's basically Lukasz's age.
That 1975 is older than any of us.
Well, I was born in 1975, so shut up.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I forgot.
Steve Shaw, Super Living Today, is tuning in too. It looks like his internet bills are working because his comments are coming through for the first time in like 6 weeks. So that's awesome. Hi, Steve. How's that going? For all the live people, get your comments, questions rolling in. We will get anything and everything answered on the next 2 hours that we're on here. And if not, we've got a batch of topics that Robbie was kind enough to assimilate for us this week. Pete has an anniversary discount code is what, Robbie?
Pete, you have a fucking anniversary discount on a daily basis, so shut the fuck up.
Before we get into the fun questions or the science nerdy ones, is there any new products any of you have been testing out this week outside of the usual lot of things that we're running?
I have run a couple Gaspari products, yes.
Can you divulge what they are, or are they new?
I shared on my story, and someone was like, I should put the review on Stack. So I had Gaspari's greens and reds. Mm-hmm. Has anybody had this? Okay, Robert, have you had it straight?
Yeah, that's the only way I drink the greens is usually just by itself.
Okay.
Or sometimes I've actually dry scooped it.
Did you have more than one of this? Because, god damn, man, that thing was like before Ghost Greens and Glaxon and all that, I was afraid to take, this is going to sound like a confession, I was afraid to take greens because they tasted like dirty shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't like greens in the first place. Mm-hmm. So grounded greens all in one is not a good sign for me. And I got this because I was assuming big name brands have really stepped up flavoring. And they said that theirs was in line with some of the best out. So I was like, you know what, let's grab it. I don't know what I missed. I don't know if there was something more to this, but I haven't touched it outside of the first serving because it just reminds me of that raw, earthy, gritty taste from the greens years prior. Have you had more than one? Do you enjoy it? Because
no, I mean we've tried a couple. So I've tried one from
No, but I mean Gaspari's one in particular.
Yeah. So Gaspari's Proven Reds and Greens. It's the mixed berry flavor. I've tried it. Stan and I did a review on it. We compared it to another one.
I'm not gonna lie, I could not tell you what that was going to taste like when I had it.
It's You know what? Y'all roll. I'm gonna go mix up a serving right now. I'll bring it in here and I'll do a live sampling. So y'all give thoughts on greens powders. I'll be right back.
It's just, I mean, I think it's
right now.
See, is that tasty? You've had core greens, you've had ghost, and you know.
You know the chemical warfare is in mango flavor, and to be honest, it works well, especially with this earthiness, because mango has this like fruity.
No. See, I'm not saying that there's that earthy tinge because ghost greens has that to some extent. So does core greens. But they mask it with a flavor, and they it's like kind of like a good tasting vegan protein. You get that grittiness, but there's still flavor on top.
Yeah.
And so there is you do have to expect it to some extent. Like greens, you have to expect this a little bit, but it's drinkable. Yeah. This, I don't want to sound mean, but I couldn't. Like I drank it.
Be 100% honest. Do you think it tastes like shit?
No, I've had worse.
Oh, okay.
That still wasn't a compliment. The way it came out, it just was terrible.
It just doesn't really taste like, again, like I couldn't have told you it was mixed berry flavored. But I drank it and then I was like, oh god, oh no. And because usually they all smell pretty bad, and I was like, and I had been led to believe that even if it smells bad, it can taste good nowadays. Yeah. It did not.
Shane,
and then my wife had it, and she was like, "Why did you make me drink this? Why do you do this to me?"
Shane, remember, like back in the beginning, they had the like little shots when you were supposed to take greens. It was supposed to be like a little shot. Now, how much water or liquid you're supposed to mix it with? Is it supposed to be maybe drank like a shot?
Trust me, if I drank this as a shot, I'd probably no. I could not drink that as a shot.
Robert, how much water are you?
How much water are you supposed to mix on the label? What does it say?
I'm following the directions. 1 scoop per 8 ounces of water.
That's a lot of water.
Man, I didn't go 8 ounces. I just went whatever. Okay, look, if you can't make it taste good and
shake.
I mean, I think it might go well in a smoothie because I think I don't know if this was flavored or not, but I think it might actually go well in a smoothie. Because if you're someone who's adding greens powders to a smoothie, but again, I was just stuck on the trend of just drinking it by itself. So I haven't tried it in a smoothie, but like mixing it with other stuff.
What's the flavor of it?
I think he's looking. I don't think there is a flavor on the front.
Is it a flavored?
No.
Flavored grease or not?
It says naturally flavored. So,
yeah, see, I'm thinking it might be. They don't say that it's intended for a smoothie. There's a bit of a fancy glass, isn't it?
This is a Glencairn glass. You're supposed to be for sipping scotch and whiskey.
Oh damn!
You should have done the pinky thing.
Yeah, pinky. Oh yes, that's the proper way.
I don't understand how you. Have
Yeah, it's just kind of. It tastes like a bunch of buzzed up fruit with a little bit of green aftertaste.
I never tasted any fruit.
I mean, that's what the sweetness is. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be.
It happens so fast.
Remember, Robert is half vegan.
So yeah, this is a scotch for tasting.
Maybe the glass helps enhance the taste because I had it in a dirty shaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's very neutral and just kind of sweet.
But you see what I mean? Like if you go into that thinking you're like Glaxon Super Greens, Ghost Greens, no. You're like, yeah, we got killer flavors, and we're like, okay, this is another top one, another big name brand. Let's get it. And you drink it, and you're like, oh shit, that's not what I thought was going to happen. And then
exactly.
Go get the pinky out. Sorry, Pete. I figured it was the most appropriate glass. Here, watch. We'll just do a little half scoop here.
You are fucking crazy. To be honest, that might be easier to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I could not. Oh, yeah. But I had that.
The top would gone.
I've only got the 1 scoop gone, and I haven't gone back to it. But I got anyway. Either that's the one I got free because I bought Gaspari Super Pump Aggression, and they was like a buy one get one free. So I didn't want 2 tubs of Super Pump, so I grabbed the greens. Kind of hoping I'd grab something else, but
yeah, I mean the formula on the Super Greens we got 5 gram of an organic greens blend, which has got 86 different ingredients in it. Organic antioxidant red blend, 2 grams of that. 2 grams of a prebiotic fiber, which is a combination of inulin and
solid. I mean, it's
a gram of immunity and metabolic blend, and 3 billion probiotics.
Again, I don't want to be mean. It tastes like it's got a good formula too.
I mean, it's in line with all the other greens formulas out there. It's like 5 grams of greens, 2 or 3 grams of reds, and some probiotics and prebiotics in there.
I would still rather drink that than eat greens, but yeah. But I had Super Pump, yeah.
I'm very curious how the new inspired green is gonna taste like. They announced today that they're releasing their first flavored greens.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I don't know if you caught that. They announced that months ago. We've been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah,
right.
I know. But yeah, today there was like the big release that is coming in few days or something. It's gonna
it's for pre-order. I think they were saying.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they announced it last year in September, and then I think obviously some shitty delays and blah blah blah, and then I think now they're rolling it out. But they came out with the flavored ones first in Australia. I can't remember what they were. There was two. They gave Australia
Malibu Breeze or something.
I'm trying to. Yeah, so in Australia you had chocolate and Bondi Blue, which was like a fruit punch, and then for the US they've got two completely different, 3 I think it is. Island Vibes, Malibu Breeze, and Sonoran.
Yeah.
Sunset, is it? That's the one that was available for their Devastate, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was also watching Doc's.
Was there for another one?
Doc's latest podcast. He also was releasing the 2 new flavors of his Ghost core greens. So
yeah, those two. Those two. Let's do another one that have been waiting for like 6 months. I think they were announced last year. But see, tastes good. Yeah. I imagine Inspired's tastes good. I haven't tried it, but see, their original one was unflavored or like natural, so you know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah.
Have you tried Steel Fits? When Steel Fit released theirs, I mean, it almost seems like about a year ago now, and they had 3 flavors. They had pineapple ginger, a mixed berry, and I can't remember the third flavor. But I mean, those are fine on their own. I mean, you still get that grassy taste and texture to them. I mean, that's just a byproduct of all greens formulas.
Yeah, but you have to admit it's a bit exaggerated on that one.
Oh yeah, on the Gaspari one, yeah.
I just I just got my hopes up. I always get my hopes up, and always people think that.
I was gonna say Pete's for the comment. Final scoop raffle wins Shane's tub of greens. The cost of the shipping alone to get that from New Zealand to where you are in Jersey, Pete, would take forever for like in transit time and cost an arm and a leg. It would be cheaper for you just to go down to the store and get it.
Pay for shipping, of course.
My packages, I get stuff like they collect it up every week and then send it over. They're pretty quick. I get it in like 3 days, 4 days sometimes.
That's not bad.
I mean, it's a bit expensive, but
well, yeah.
Oh yeah, Robert, did you try the NxtBar?
Me? Are you talking to Robbie or me?
He tried it.
Robert, yeah. Did you try it, the NxtBar?
Yeah, Sandy and I reviewed all 3 or 4 flavors of it. There's a review up on our channel of it.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I didn't mind it, but I just didn't.
Did you? Did you, Robert, saw the post that Shane uploaded this week?
The story on it?
Yeah.
I saw briefly. Refresh me on it.
I did a review and I didn't like it that much. I honestly was because everyone. I think it's because people. I always listen to when people say things like again Gaspari greens. After trying Ghost greens and all that, I was excited because I was like, cool, this is a modern day greens. This is going to taste good because it's emerged on the greens trend. So I had this sort of, predetermined kind of thought that this is going to taste good because of all the other greens I had. That's not Gaspari's fault. Again, I feel it probably works great in a smoothie, and people who are used to that gritty, probably fine.
Yeah.
But I was used to that delicious taste of Ghost and Glaxon and Core, and then I get this, and I'm like, boom, right? Like I don't know. I don't know what a good metaphor would be. It would be like, yeah, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And then the next bar, a lot of people had hyped it up to me. Like people had reached out and said, "Oh, you should try this. This is like really good. It's up and coming bar." And we posted about it like 2 months ago or a month ago. And I was like, "Fuck it." People seem to hype it, so I went on Amazon, bought a variety box. I was like, "See how it goes." All 6 flavors. Again, I don't know. I didn't know. I had seen what it looked like, and I knew what was in it, and I knew the premise. But still, based on what everyone was saying and how today we get high, like delicious bars, like crazy good bars. So I was under the assumption this was going to be like on that level. But I thought it was as good as your old school Quest bar. I was like,
Yeah, it's just middle of the road. Like it's definitely softer than a Quest bar.
I think it is softer. I do. Me and my wife say it's a little moister, but
yeah, I think that's because of the higher fat content, probably.
But the flavor just, I mean, I didn't really like. I would chew it, and I couldn't necessarily tell until I could look and see. Like I hit the chocolate chips, and I'm like, oh yum, that's good.
Yeah.
But even the chocolate chips, like you would bite into them, and they felt like fake chocolate chips. Like I know they probably were, but I'm just saying they felt like they were just there for texture, not taste. I don't know. Again, it's because I'm used to like Bear Bells and Grenade and ESN and all these like amazing bars that taste like fucking candy bars. And then I get this, and again, 15 grams of protein. In my experience, you go lower protein, shit's gonna taste good. You get down below 15 to 10, they're sacrificing because they're gonna make room for flavor. They're gonna up the taste, but I don't know. I wanted something. I wanted to be amazed, and I was not amazed.
Yeah,
Again,
it's very.
Don't want to be mean.
No. I mean, that's that's why people like our opinions on stuff. It's the textures were nice. I like the kind of the softer texture. Sandy really liked them. I thought the flavors were kind of like they're very subtle. Like, kind of like you said, you can't really like if somebody told me this is supposed to be like peanut butter chocolate. Okay.
The lemon one was very obvious.
Yeah, the lemon one was good. That was probably the strongest flavored one, but the rest of the flavors were just kind of eh.
And I felt they were a bit like one was harder than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like the lemon one I felt to be quite hard, and then the peanut butter ones was quite like you could hold it and it would fold.
Yeah.
And again, I think if you like the Quest bar, yeah. Like if you I don't want to be mean to the Quest. If you still like the Quest bar, then yeah, like it's a good alternative to that. But again, I'm too international. I've experienced the goodness of Europe with Bear Bells, ESN, Grenade. Those guys just when you can replicate a candy bar that good, and you get 20 grams of protein, and I mean Grenade even does 22, 23 in some bars, and you still get the same calories as you do in the next bar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. Have you tried 1UP Nutrition's bars? Sandy and I just sampled a few of those right before Christmas. And the s'mores bar was really good.
Good.
Yeah, that's really good. And the key lime pie bar was outstanding.
I actually wanted to try the performance Vital Performance bar.
Mm-hmm.
They just announced it's that collagen brand. They got what's her name, Jennifer Anderson. From Rachel from Friends, she's like their new ambassador. I thought it was so they're very out there, man. They're very like big, and they came out with a bar and they said we changed the game, and I was like,
no.
Oh god. But to their credit, they their protein bar is half collagen, so it's 20 grams protein, 10 grams of that from collagen. Mm-hmm. And in my experience, you're gonna make something out of collagen. That shit's gonna taste good. If you don't like collagen, so be it. But I mean, the collagen bars tend to make room for some lean macros and some crazy good flavor. So I was thinking about picking that one up, but I know they haven't changed the game because it looks exactly the same as other protein bars. But I'm curious to taste this thing.
Agreed. P. Pasimus, thought you guys mentioned that greens powders doesn't have the best quality of nutrients you need. It's Like a lot of it depends on the manufacturing processes and how. So if it's cold processed and if it's dehydrated in a cold environment, not heat processed, that'll help retain some more of the nutrients. But you're going to lose. I mean, you're evaporating the water, so you're going to lose some of the water soluble vitamins and minerals that are in there. You may still get some of the antioxidants and polyphenols, flavonoids, catechins, things like that are naturally in greens, but it's usually like the dose we're throwing. You look at the blend of greens, and you're getting like 8 different, or sometimes 8 or 15 different greens in a 5-gram blend. So you're getting maybe 500 milligrams, maybe 25 milligrams, maybe 250 milligrams of each of these dehydrated powders. How much benefit are any of these doing? So I think it's more of like the quantity of this, because if you look at some of the studies on spirulina or chlorella powder or something like that, you need like an entire 3-gram serving of this to actually get any of the real benefits of it. And so when you're getting 250 milligrams, 125 milligrams, 500 milligrams, are you really getting anything out of benefit? Maybe. We just don't know. So,
I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel better about myself.
The halo effect. Robbie, when's the Apollon 50/50 bar dropping?
Not probably anytime soon.
I was gonna say, I feel bad judging protein snacks, like, because I know people work on them for so long, and like the NxtBar, like people were very excited about it. And I feel bad because I'm like, I can't lie to you, man. This is not amazing.
The reason why I was toying with the idea of actually releasing a bar and even reached out to one of the manufacturers kind of to find out more about the process, and the reason why I kind of like put a stop to the idea is something that we had a conversation very, very early, one of the first podcasts that we did, and Shane said something like certain things that if Apollon would do and branch out and do certain things that other brands allow themselves to do, are like hardcore followers, they would not be very forgiving. So I feel like with the bar, let's face it, when we talk about protein bars, what are we talking about? The protein is probably the cheapest, crappiest protein that you can find, and it has a lot of calories. Nobody who is really, really serious about their diet or to get lean, and we're talking about bodybuilding, fitness, and those industries, and even fighters, whoever needs to make certain weight, nobody's using the bars. Absolutely nobody. This is more I think, for an average Joe and for the, ever-growing, obsession with the fitness, where people are going to mainstream fitness facilities, and they don't look exactly like old-school gyms or anything like that. I think it's for that market, and that's not Apollon's market. We make very good tasting protein, and I'm very proud of it. And our aminos are great tasting and stuff like that. So now it would be a dilemma: do we make a protein bar that is healthy and is very beneficial? It's gonna definitely taste like shit, and most of the time people are buying protein bars for the taste. So we're gonna sacrifice quality for taste, or we're gonna sacrifice quality, taste for quality. So I don't see any benefit of us doing it. The storage, the competition, and all that, I don't think it's going to work out. So more than likely, I would say, I'd never say never, but 99% we're not doing it.
See, I reckon there are 2 ways you could do it for Apollon. Like you said, I actually think, because I find it tricky when people say, I'm putting nutrition first, and the bar's not going to taste like a candy bar, but it's going to have great nutrition. But even great nutrition on a protein bar, it's still like 1-to-1 carbs to fit a protein. Usually, it's still... See, I think the beef bar that we just saw from Icon Meals would be damn ideal for Apollon. And if you did like a turkey version or whatever, just raw meat, because that shit was what? I think it was like 15 to 16 grams of protein, like no carbs. So I mean,
and it tasted good.
I haven't tried. I've got it coming this week.
Where is it? What did you say it's coming from? Like it's Europe, right?
No. It's Icon Meals. It's a meal prep company.
Where are they from? USA.
The US.
Yeah,
I have no idea where.
Yeah. So I mean, it's worth to try. But so far everything. I've had some very good tasting bars, without a doubt. The other way I think you could do it
is the opposite and take that America Labs, their gainer approach, just make it dirty as shit, like a log of protein, and then you just like, I think one of the most exciting new bars I had seen in a while was dedicated to the Rock, because that thing, it went above the 250 calorie mark, 20 grams of protein, but they actually exchanged those extra calories for like fucking candy and caramel, and that thing is delicious. Mm-hmm. And making that sacrifice to make it like the dirty Apollon bar, right? And I couldn't see you going in the middle. I would.
Yeah, no, it has to be one way or the other.
Like you said, I feel like it wouldn't fit you to do something like, and you would hype it like you would every product, and then it would come out and people would be like, oh, so this is like that one, or this is like this one. I think you need to go one way or the other, and just then people are like, oh shit, I haven't tried some of this before, but it seems like Robic. This makes sense. That would be the ideal approach, I think.
No, yeah, perhaps. Like I said, I mean, yeah, never say never, but we would have to go drastically the opposite of what everybody else is doing. So it would have to be either one way or the other one, not in the middle. And a lot of companies are trying to do something in the middle, and it seems like, then they send it to Shane, or Shane orders it, and he goes like, okay, this tastes like shit.
No, see, if the thing is I didn't say like the NxtBar that much, because you didn't give me anything back for the lack in flavor. Like, if this thing had 25 grams of protein and 200 calories, I would have been like, holy shit, you know what? This is edible. You have to.
That's exactly what you just said. It's in the middle. It's half quality, half taste.
But that's the thing. They didn't give me a lot of protein. They gave me less. They gave me 15 grams of protein per bar, and I didn't get anything back in terms of against other bars. So for me.
So what you're saying is, if they up the protein to say 22 grams like Gonen.
Yeah, like if it was like, or like if they did something that would make me believe it's not going to taste that good, like I would weigh it up, right?
So you would be willing to sacrifice a little bit of taste for quality.
Yes, you ought. Like, I think that's what a lot of brands, like Core Nutritionals, that was the kind of idea behind Core Balls, was to put function over form a bit, nutrition ahead of like that candy chocolate coated taste. And there are a few bars out there that do it, but if you don't do that and it tastes like you did, then I'm going to be disappointed. Okay. And it was kind of like, but again, the Icon Meals beef bar, I'm going into that like, you're giving me the leanest protein bar out there. This thing just has to be not completely shit for me to be impressed. It's a give and take, I think. And that was kind of like the Big O bar. I reviewed that earlier this week. And I mentioned to you guys, I had to have no carbs that day, but that thing tastes fucking amazing. I mean, it tastes like a cake with peanut butter. Shit is good. And for 500 calories. Yeah. I mean, or 480, sorry. It better be good.
Fuck, and that's a dedication, man.
I would say that was a perfect example. They gave me extra calories, but my God, did it come with extra flavor. Great example. And I was not disappointed.
There you go. Shane feels better to not have an actual piece of broccoli. Yeah. Amen. Greens over broccoli. When's Bare Knuckle coming out, Robbie, the new one?
If everything goes well, it should be about 3 weeks. 2-3 weeks.
Okay. Ooh. Simple. I like that. That was a quick. I think that's the fastest answer we've ever had on this show. Let's go to our list of questions. For everybody still tuning in on the live stream, you got any other questions or comments, feel free to post them up. Right now, we're going to go to some of the questions Robbie cultivated. We're going to see. Where to start? Well, let's start with this one. This will be a fun one.
You always say that.
Well, it's not any science or nerdy stuff yet, so there we go.
Favorite? Damn. We've answered this.
All right. Let's go. Shane, we're going to let you lead off because I know it's going to be filled with broccoli and mushrooms and white rice.
It's McDonald's. It is hands down McDonald's. I think I've said this before on here. Mega Mac. It's like when they double the beef patties. Usually 2 of those, a a 20 pack of nuggets sometimes. Maybe a chocolate shake. One of them is a meal, obviously. And then I think I'll throw in 2 cheeseburgers as well. Yeah, might throw a little bit of something else in there. Depends how I feel, but I mean that's the thing about McDonald's. It's your world's open. You feel like beef? I mean it's like thin beef, but if you feel like beef, feel like chicken, feel like something sweet. Do you want a toy with your meal? God damn it, they have everything. It's the best. You can go either way.
Do you have a preference for which kind of burger? So, like the Quarter Pounder, do you like the Big Mac? Do you like the kids' burger?
See, I only go with the Big Mac because it's the classic. But I've discovered in different parts of the world, this is the fun. I think I mentioned this before. The flavors are very consistent. The chicken nuggets that gets a bit fishy around the world. You get different amounts of meat, and some of them cook it quite fast. And so then some have it left sitting, so some is a bit hard. But the size of the beef is the biggest difference from country to country. I've been to some places, and the beef patties and the Big Mac are like, it's like a piece of paper, man. It's like it's competing with the lettuce on thickness. It's insane. And then you go to like countries like America. Poland was one of my favorites, if not my favorite.
There you go.
The only country I feel that competes with America on the size of the meat in their burgers, and the price is on par, which is not what I expected. Because I had done other countries. I had McDonald's in Romania, so a little further east. I would have expected to be slightly cheaper, but Poland was king. But I have experienced the Quarter Pounder and the bigger stuff, but I just like that classic Big Mac, whatever. And they have that secret sauce or whatever the fuck goes on there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Lukasz, what's your favorite cheat meal?
Oh man, I got one special place in my heart, and that's Brazilian grill. If you guys ever been to a Brazilian grill,
Yep.
it's meat heaven. It's basically you got this. It's 2 cards, green and red. So
yes.
if you put the green sign on the table, so
it's called rodizio.
Yeah,
So there's a couple of different names. Yeah.
Yeah.
the waiter knows that he can bring you the meats, and he can bring you till you are like done.
You got the meat sweats.
Yeah, so I remember one time, it was like 2 years ago. Me and my friends, it was one day after a FIBO, we went to the Brazilian grill, and we sat there for like 3.5 hours, just like eating, and the meat sweats were like insane, but at the same time it was like the best time ever. And they gave you like all different cuts of meat, from beef to pork, chicken, like everything. You can also like add some sides to it, but you know me, I don't fuck with vegetables, so I always go with the meat, So that's my special place, It's too bad that you don't find that much spots in Poland, but if I'm traveling, I always have to find a place where they serve, a Brazilian grill. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, on the topic of the grill, I will say, do you feel that you could eat more after that place? Because I feel the strategy behind that thing is to bring you it piece by piece.
Yeah.
I feel there's a tactic there where you feel like I could have eaten 3 times as much, but because they come by, drop it off. It's kind of like I don't know, if you did like 1 deadlift every minute for like an hour, you would probably be pretty fucked versus doing like, I don't know, 10 straight out.
It depends. It depends how much people are in the restaurant and how many waiters are in the restaurant, because they are like circular around all the time. So if like many people like dropped, and you basically are the only person that has the green card, then you are fucked, because then they're like coming with all different meats. Like in like 10 seconds, you got like 10 different slices, But if you got like loads of people in the restaurant, then it's
I feel like there's something to it. I always wonder about that. I'm like, I feel like this is their tactic.
Yeah, you
Eat the salad, the meat's coming out, and then the meat comes out, and they're like, "Here, have one piece." 5 minutes later, "Oh, here, have another."
Yeah.
I'm just getting tired. I'm fucking not hungry anymore.
Yeah, but you can always like choose. For example,
Yeah.
comes with the chicken, and you said, "Oh no, I don't like chicken." But
usually if they come with a chicken, I'd be like, "I'll have 5 pieces," because you could ask.
Yeah, just tell you want more.
Because he has this like this big roast,
Yeah.
He has a cutter, so basically he just like gives you the cutter, and you cut how much pieces you want. So yeah.
I feel like I feel like it's a tactic, and they always fool me. People are taking me there, and I'm just like, son of a bitch. I can eat more, I swear.
Yeah.
But this slow shit is ruining me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've only been maybe twice. The last time we went was maybe 5 years ago. We went up to Niagara Falls, and we went with my cousin and her husband. They met us up there on the Canadian side. And we went there, and like Shane mentioned, the salad bar. So you can order like just the meat, and that's like $60, and then like adding the salad bar is another 20. So I went with the salad bar because I'm doing like a giant plate of salad. Then I'll get
Of course you did.
Of course, of course.
A waste of space in your stomach, man.
And then I got a bunch of different meats, but I was only going for the steak, and maybe I got some of the chicken too.
How much money do you think they're gonna make on the salad? Probably the whole fucking ticket.
I remember.
How dare you waste?
Sandy. I was with Sandy. She ate more than her share. Trust me. We were good.
I remember there was one guy in the restaurant, and he was like loading up with like rice, potatoes, salad.
No, I didn't waste any on the starches. I just did like greens. It was greens and meat. That was all I did.
Amateur.
Yeah. And I felt bad, because my plate was like meat only and bones.
Before we get to Robbie's favorite cheat meal, Sup Talk Radio's favorite cheat meal is Chick-fil-A. I don't understand. Like, my brother and sister-in-law love Chick-fil-A. I've eaten it.
Chick-fil-A is the shit, okay?
I don't... What is the big deal? Like, every day when I'm driving home from picking up the halfling from daycare, there's a line wrapped around the goddamn restaurant.
Oh, you know what? Oh, so there's a line? Oh, so you mean a lot of people like it? So it's very obvious? You're coming from a person who eats like a fucking truckload of vegetables and shit. I don't know.
Wait,
maybe they know something.
When I was a kid, and even like when teenager into college, I was eating McDonald's once or twice a week. Like I was always getting like a 20-piece nugget or pizza. I love pizza. I love chicken nuggets. I love McDonald's French fries, hamburgers.
What happened to you?
All that. I developed taste buds, and I started to liking cooking. I guess I don't know.
No.
I don't like.
Don't say
Chick-fil-A...
taste buds and vegetables in the same fucking sentence, okay? No.
Chick-fil-A, it tastes decent. I ate it in college. I'm just trying to think. I don't understand this mass appeal. What makes it amazing? The waffle fries are good, but I still like McDonald's fries just as much. The chicken really isn't that good. Like the fried chicken, I'd take McDonald's chicken nuggets over Chick-fil-A's little chicken bites any day.
We could flip this on its head and be like, I don't know, what the fuck's so great about lettuce and mushrooms and dog shit and whatever else you put in that thing, right? Lettuce and tomato taste just like fucking water. It's just thicker.
Right, but of all the fast food chains, why do people like? What is this addiction to Chick-fil-A versus McDonald's or Wendy's or
the chicken
Taco Bell
is
or anything?
Succulent. It is moist. It is fucking awesome. And it's only in America, so it's not like McDonald's extends out the world. Chick-fil-A is exclusively in the US. I remember I went one year when I went to the Olympia. They had they opened one up. It was fucking fire at the end of the strip, and I was like, we'll save it. We'll do it on our last day before we fly out on Monday morning. We'll go on Sunday. Yeah, I didn't fucking know. Chick-fil-A not open on damn Sundays.
Good old Christians. There we go.
Son of a bitch.
Observing the Lord's Day.
I didn't know that, but dude, Chick-fil-A is amazing. And again,
are you going to a fast food restaurant for their service though? I mean, are you just going for like
the experience? It's the experience. If you were presented your salad by, I don't know, a Victoria's Secret model versus your dad or whatever, I mean, let me guess, you'd probably prefer the model, yeah? It would be like, oh my god, this is at Chick-fil-A. I'm not comparing it to Victoria's Secret model. I'm just saying their service they're very attentive, very pleasant, very polite, and it just adds to the cherry on top to the amazing chicken.
We're gonna go.
I don't know how you don't
chicken.
understand that.
For all the listeners out there, go look up Raising Cane's. Look up Raising Cane's. Go get that for that. That'll be my cheat meal. It'll be Raising Cane's, extra fries. Forget the Texas toast. Forget the coleslaw. Give me the fried chicken fingers, double cane sauce, double crinkle cut fries. If you have any of those in the States, it originated, as you would expect, by two undergrads from LSU. It was their senior business project. The professor said, nobody's ever going to buy a place that only sells fried chicken tenders and French fries. And he gave him an F on the project. Years later, they're multimillionaires and got locations all over the country. Anyway, so that'll be my cheat meal. Robbie, what you got?
I jump from one to another one. It depends how I feel. But lately it's been McDonald's. Typically it's a Big Mac, large fries, double quarter pounder with cheese, a couple of McChickens, and a few cheeseburgers. That seems to be like the thing for the past couple of weeks. Easy. But sometimes it can be pizza. Like few weeks in a row, it can just be pizza, and I can jump from one to another one. But it then can be Thai food. But it seems to me like I'm consistent with the same type for a few weeks before I kind of get bored with it and then jump on something else. When it comes to Chick-fil-A, I actually never tried it. There's one not far from my house because every fucking time I drive by, I don't have the patience for that line. I just don't. It's just that line is absolutely insane. So unless I know Shane's going to come and visit and I'm going to be forced to go, it seems, that's probably the next time and the only time that I'm going to be there. But then I'm probably going to hate Shane because if it actually tastes as good as everybody says, now I'm going to be forced to go and stand in that line and get that fucking chicken.
I'm almost tempted to bring Sandy in on this conversation because she'll have my back on this Chick-fil-A nonsense.
That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that.
I'll tell you this: like my daughter, other than like chicken wings, she's not really into chicken, but she had Chick-fil-A and she says it's absolutely amazing. So I mean,
amen to that.
I gotta kind of I did pay attention to that because like chicken, she is so she doesn't hate it, she doesn't love it, she's kind of neutral to it, and typically it's just like chicken wings like every other kid. But Chick-fil-A she had, and she goes, it's absolutely outstanding.
It is. I have to admit, I remember someone told me the same thing.
Is it comparable? Is it comparable? Don't laugh at me, but is it comparable to Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Ooh. Different experience, but
like different. The way they prepare.
No. I mean, like it's hard to. I mean, if you're talking chicken, it is chicken to chicken. But if you want to get really specific, the best parts of KFC are very different to the best parts of Chick-fil-A. I always find it's those magical herbs and spices that the Colonel throws in his shit that just. That makes it pop, and their skin's like very soggy and dirty, whereas Chick-fil-A, even though it's not, it tastes a little more cleaner and crispier kind of thing. But it's a tough one to be honest. I love both the same, but anyway.
Well, it's like no, because Chick-fil-A is just like breaded chicken breast cubes, or you can get a grilled chicken patty or like a.
Do they have a large menu?
I mean,
KFC is just fried chicken pieces. I mean, maybe they have tenders and some other kind of sides.
See, in New Zealand, we have what's called a double down. They brought it out years ago, and it was referred to as like the heart attack burger. It's basically two fat chicken pieces, boneless, and those giant pieces are treated as the burger patties. And in between, you got bacon. I think one of them puts in they have a special sauce. One of them put in like a hash brown and onion rings, and it's like, I mean, it's a hot mess. But holy shit, that thing is awesome. But their menu's pretty extensive. Actually, we had this discussion the other day with my wife because someone said, talking about bones and chicken, and so that's why you buy tenders. Because the whole discussion was that why would you even buy wings? Why would you even buy shit with bones in it? Because you're going to throw them out anyway. We're in the age where we don't need the. They can take the bones out. I don't know how they do it. Boneless shit is the way to go, and that's why I kind of like Chick-fil-A. KFC makes you work for their stuff a bit.
Okay, well, there we go. That'll put an end on the cheat meal stuff. Okay, here's another one. With since it is January and it's only a few months away of this happening, I don't know if somebody's gonna have to give me some insight into this. Thoughts on Arnold moving from Columbus? Did they release something saying they're looking to move it from there, or is this just a pie in the sky edition saying, "Hey, we might do we think it would be better if it was moved?"
I don't know if it's final, but it seems like they are moving. I mean, that's what I got from it, that they are moving from Columbus. I know they moved the date, but it's not confirmed when. I think they're looking to summer or even sometimes in the fall. I think possibly September, I heard. But the talk is that they're moving from Columbus and there are changes.
I only heard that they are changing the dates, and yeah, they said something about September as well.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. But I didn't heard anything about moving to other locations. So that's something new to me.
Yeah, I don't think they confirmed. I don't think they confirmed anything, but I think that it's a possibility. It possibly has to do with the lockdowns and everything, because Ohio is a little bit stricter. I know that a lot of shows are moving to
tyrannical. Tyrannical is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, I think that I know for sure that New York Pro, which is scheduled for May every year, is already announced that it's going to be once again in Tampa in May. So I think that it's almost certain that Arnold would move too. But the talk is pretty strong that it's moving from Columbus. If it does indeed move from Columbus, my personal opinion, that's fine. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to miss Columbus. It's really nothing very exciting.
Yeah, currently looking for a date in the third or fourth quarter, but do not have a confirmed date yet. Nothing about the looking for a different venue. Here's my thoughts on it. I've been to more than one Arnold. Shane has too. I don't know if how many Robbie's been to, but it is always cold and miserable. The time of year, it's cold, wet, and miserable in Columbus that year. The expo hall, the venue is just too small to host it now, because you're walking around and everybody else is BO and protein farts, nut to butt, trying to creep through the entire convention floor. It is not good. I don't like, plus you got the douchebag governor and mayors there that are being overly oppressive with their mandates and all that shit. If they want to move it to Florida or somewhere else that's going to be a little bit more open and have better venues, let's get it out of Columbus.
It seems like there's going to be majority of shows are going to be in Columbus, and I think that they also mentioned that Olympia once again is not going to be in Vegas either. So I mean, like I said, if they are moving from Columbus, I'm all for it. I don't give a shit.
You think that Olympia is going to be also in December?
They were planning to do it in September. Actually, they were trying to do it on the same month that they typically do, which is the middle to end of September. But it was brought up, and it's a very valid point, is that number one, they probably not going to have the same number of shows to qualify for the Olympia. And then you have between December and September, you only have 9 months, which is a very, very short period, to prepare and everything else. So I think Dave Palumbo suggested that they scale it down, and I think they're going into that direction, because 21 is still a little sketchy. 22 possibly going to be okay. So I think what they're trying to possibly do is do it in December again or November, and then kind of like every year maybe bring it closer back to normal, which is September, October, like it used to be. But I think that they're doing it in December or November, yeah. And plus you have the Rock show that is still scheduled. So you have like Arnold Classic possibly August, September. And then you have the Rock show, which I think is planned for October, if I'm not mistaken. And then it makes sense to separate between that and Olympia to have more time. So I'm pretty sure it's November, December for Olympia.
Okay. All right, next question. If you were not involved with supplements, what other profession or direction would you choose? Lukasz, you get to go first.
Oh damn, that's a deep question. I would say okay. I would go with the gastronomy route. So basically, I would have my own coffee shop, something small. And
He's still going with the stems.
yeah, basically selling people dark happiness, which is coffee. Maybe add some sprinkle, from time to time, and have some mushrooms or something. Yeah, something like that,
With all of the stems that you take on a daily basis, do you drink regular coffee, and do you like coffee?
From time to time, but yeah, I love really really good coffee.
What kind of coffee? Dark roast, light roast?
Of course, only dark roast, man.
My man.
No
All right.
bullshit, no milk, no sweeteners, no, just pure dark.
Just
roast.
like my women, strong, dark, and black. There we go.
Just like my soul, man.
Robbie, what other profession would you choose if you're not involved with supplements? You can't say gym owner either because you're running a gym right now.
Yeah, that was never my intention actually to own a gym initially. That was never my dream. Kind of happened that way, but I don't know. There is a good possibility law school. I enjoy that. I like arguing with people, and I typically win. So probably law school or completely different direction. Shane and I talked about this. We both into arts and screenplays and stuff like that. So probably like maybe something to do with entertainment industry. I was always fascinated by that. Always loved it, and it was always my passion. It's probably something along like that.
Okay. Shane?
Yeah, probably.
Apparently, you said you wanted to be a proctologist.
McDonald's.
Yeah, that sounds like me, right? I would probably say what Robbie said. My degree is like graphic design, communication, and probably something in movie would be nice if I did. Outside of this, I mean, I really just fell into this. Just started the blog and it happened, but yeah, something in that industry would be cool. Writing would be nice. I was never really a good writer to begin with anyway, so I mean, it would, yeah. I have really no idea.
That's a good question, though. It was a very good question. Fun question.
I would, let's see, I've been an engineer. Don't want to go back and do that. That was easy but boring.
A server at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. I'll be a franchise owner at Chick-fil-A. You know what I think I would do? I think I'm going to follow the Lukasz route. I would do some kind of like coffee bar or maybe just a bar, but have really good gourmet coffee. Because I like to cook and I like to make cocktails and serve people drinks. Anytime we have like a Christmas party or like when Sandy's teachers have like the teacher parties and stuff, I always end up like manning the cocktail bar and making drinks for people and doing all that. So I love to entertain in that sense. Like I'm not super extroverted, but I like making drinks for people, kind of getting them into the chemistry or like the mixology of combining these different things and doing all that stuff. So I would either open up a distillery and have like a little bar next to it that did really good gourmet coffees and bourbons and cocktails and stuff like that, or just do a coffee shop that served alcoholic drinks as well. So you get your stems and then you get your downers and you get this perfect little equilibrium to have your productivity. But yeah.
Is this where we're all going to end up when we're over 50?
Start the business plan, man.
Once we leave the supplement issue, when we make our billions from selling out, we're going to do that.
Once I'm finished, I'm going to build the bar first and then the restaurant for you, man.
There we go. All right. This is a juicy one. All right, here we go. We're going to let Robbie start off first on this one. If taste is subjective and pre-workouts are individual preferences, then why do channels judge taste and rate pre-workouts?
Because they get paid. I think I beat my previous record.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah. No, I mean You see, like Shane just described perfectly. He talks shit, but in a very nice accent and in a very nice way about Gaspari products. But basically, to translate it, he said, "So I tried the Gaspari greens, and they taste like dog shit. I couldn't stomach it. It's crap, and I won't take it again." But he said it in a nice way with an accent, so it sounded very intelligent and nice. Yep.
I might have it again. We don't know.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, it's very subjective. I just saw today somebody posting on Instagram his own company, the best tasting protein on the market. We hear it all the time. Either companies are proclaiming it. I always refer to other people what they're saying. If the majority like it, if everybody likes it, then great. You have arguably the best tasting protein on the market, and its taste is so fucking subjective. So, I think I talked about this a while ago. If only they would say, you know what, I'm trying it, because I think it's unfair, and I'm not talking about Apollon because we have the best tasting protein on the market. But I saw a few review channels, they try protein shake, and I'm not talking even about the fact that they're getting paid for it, but they try a protein shake, and they say, oh, this is amazing, this is absolutely great, and might taste like shit. Or sometimes they try something that I guess, they didn't get paid for, and they say, it's okay. It's not really that great. And I mean, it's kind of fucked up, because think about it. Like maybe you are honest. Maybe it's not that great for you. But this company just spent shitload of money manufacturing a product, trying their best. They probably tested it themselves on a couple of people. Probably got positive feedback. Because otherwise they would be stupid to release the product as is. And there are probably some people who actually like it. And, it's just very, very unfair. And I think it's very, very unprofessional, for somebody to speak for everybody else. We all have different taste buds. We all have different preferences. That's the reason why Shane likes chicken. He prefers chicken. But, I prefer red meat. And it doesn't mean that, he's wrong or I'm wrong. It's just a personal preference. So for me right now to say, chicken tastes like shit, I think that it's kind of inappropriate, and I think it's wrong, because it's just my personal preference. So yeah, I do understand this question. I think it's a very valid question. In terms of pre-workouts, shit, I mean, you have pre-workouts that have 100 or 200 milligram of caffeine, if we're talking just about caffeine, and then you have pre-workouts that have Apollon level of caffeine. Lukasz can handle Assassin, and he can handle overtime at the same time. And, is he wrong? No, he's not. He can tolerate it. He likes it. And who am I to say that it's wrong? I make Assassin, and I can only handle half to 3/4 of a scoop. So, one scoop would be a little bit too much for me personally, but does not mean that the product is bad. So I think that it's very, very subjective. And if everybody would actually, when they review something, and they say, what, for me personally, it doesn't really work. It's not my thing. Tastes like vanilla, but I'm not a vanilla person. Shit like that, that's fine. But to go and trash somebody's company just because you don't like it, and kind of make it look, because somebody else is watching you and might go like, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm not going to buy it because this guy said, and maybe if he bought it, he actually would have liked it. So I think there is a fine line of how you deliver the message, and that's what matters. Like you reviewed Resistance. I mean, like you said, you can't really say what it does, because you're not going to feel shit. But you can at least review the ingredients. So, but if you tasted something, if you tasted protein, like Robert, how many times you and Sandy tasted proteins on your channel, and the two of you didn't agree? That happened very, very often. Yep. But I think that's the beauty about it, because now you basically expressed your opinion, and it's clearly your personal opinion that doesn't exactly see eye to eye with Sandy's opinion. But you describe the taste, you describe what it's like. Like, for example, you say this chocolate tastes a little bit more like dark chocolate. For somebody who doesn't like dark chocolate, he's going to go, you know what? I prefer milk chocolate. But then the consumer can draw his own conclusions. Pre-workouts, we can. I know we, even on this channel, we bashed Gaspari, but we bashed him not because of the product. we bashed him on a claim that he said that he was working on it for 2 years, and there is great ingredients and unique formula, and obviously it wasn't what he said that it would be. I never tried the product, and maybe it's not even a bad product. So
I tried it.
How was it?
I actually tried it this week.
And
I'll tell you later. But keep going. I don't want to stop you with it.
So the thing is like it's very, very, very subjective, and even Shane's going to describe his experience. That's going to be his personal experience, and I think he's entitled to his opinion. But if one of us would go like, you know what, I just tried Gaspari's pre-workout. It's absolute trash. Do not buy it. It's not for you. Yeah, that would be wrong. But to express opinion like, this pre-workout is a little weak for me. For me personally, it's a little weak. This pre-workout is too strong, or this one doesn't have enough pump for me because I'm looking for that. I think that if that was the case, this industry would change drastically in terms of reviews, in terms of how we deliver a message. And knowledge is the key, and if you're saying that you don't like something, at least explain why you don't like it, but make sure to emphasize that it is strictly your opinion and somebody might disagree with it.
All right, Lukasz?
You know what? I just want to add to Robic, comment that, when you are like buying a product for, let's say, the pre-workout, I never look at the taste or anything like that. To me, what matters the most is the performance aspect. When I'm looking for a pre-workout, I need energy. I need the focus. I need things that gonna enhance my workout and will keep me on this nice cool level. I don't like strive for the taste aspect. So when I see, for example, a review on the YouTube or any other channel, and when they're talking about taste and the feeling and those kind of things, all right, I'll just like I will listen to it. I'll just like get my pointers, but at the same time, I'm still gonna try the product myself, because in my personal opinion, and what Robic said, every person will have its own unique, opinion on the flavor, on the performance, on other aspects, So I think that the flavor is just like, as Pete said, added bonus. That's the only thing. That's not super important, Of course, we all want to have a product that's gonna taste amazing, but at the same time, we all know, that you can't mask, these raw ingredients, especially when you are doing like, 80% of raw ingredients and 20% of flavorings, So we need to keep that in mind.
So. Agree.
Well put. Shane, you actually review products, so give your defense of why you rate stuff.
I see. I was gonna say. I see the question is they're asking, if I like a certain thing and not everyone likes a certain thing, why give my opinion on it? I say that it's the same with any kind of reviewing of any industry, right? So, to Robic's point, if I review something and someone says to me, I tried it and it was great, I'm like, sweet, stick with it. In fact, many people have commented on my reviews on the website, said, oh, I actually tried this pre-workout and I really, really liked it. I'd be like, yeah, man, if you like it, don't listen to fucking anyone else, right? How you did, just stick with it, and then go from there. And that was always kind of what I've taken as approaches. And when I review something like the NxtBar, I didn't like it. I thought it was light on flavor, but I said compared to these products, and then I said if you like NxtBar, you'll like it too. So I think it's worth sometimes providing those comparisons. But the whole reason behind doing a review is so that, let's just say there are, I don't know, let's say you got 1,000 people out there, right? And 20% have tried Super Pump and Jacked. The other 20% have tried Assassin and some other pre-workout. You get what I'm saying? And then this review channel reviews all of the ones that they've tried. The key thing I like is that if I say I like this pre-workout and this pre-workout, and there's someone out there who likes those two as well, there's a good chance that the other product I like, the third one, they're going to like that too. They kind of get the vibe, they kind of get the idea. And even though everyone's preferences are individual and personal, you can get a ballpark idea, right? Like compared to Glaxon and Ghost, Gaspari's greens is not on par. And even though that's my personal preference, I would be damn sure that 99 people out of 100 would say the same thing if you gave it to them straight. And so you're not necessarily going to reviewers to be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to feel this, and this, just like he said. You may feel something in that area, or you may feel that exact experience, but you get a ballpark idea of what it's about. And that's why I feel it's important for review channels to be 100% unbiased and honest. Because if I review 3 protein bars, and they're all candy bar style, right? And they're like, oh shit, Shane likes those ones. That makes sense. He liked this one, like this one, like this. And then let's just say someone slips me some money, and we've never done a paid review on mine. But let's just say someone slipped you some money, and it's this bullshit review on the same par as the other ones, but it's not a protein bar that even looks similar. And then someone's like, well, he liked those 3, and he likes this one. They're gonna go buy that one. They'll be like, well, he was full of shit. You have to stay true to yourself. You have to be honest, because that's the only way to stay consistent. And that's why we've never touched any kind of thing like that in terms of paid or spot anything. It's important to, because you're doing your followers a disservice. Again, if I like Inspired, Devastate, and I like Apollon's Assassin, and then I go and say I like some other bullshit thing that hit the market, someone's likely to go buy that because of how true I was to those last ones. And they're going to go waste their money because I was talking out my ass. So I think it's important to what the original question was saying, is that preferences are individual, but you can grow attached and you can grow liking. Like when people review movies. You like Fast and the Furious, you like Avatar. You get a kind of vibe on what they like. And if your followers like those 2, they're going to tune in. They'll be like, okay, so he has got a good way of picking things. And I think it's but I would never argue with anyone who said, you said this tastes like shit, I think it's amazing, you said lettuce is bullshit, my salad is fucking awesome. It is subjective, and you can never disagree with someone, but the reviews are more about guiding people and helping them, not trying to take someone down. It's just, again, like I said, if someone comes to your site and they say, oh, he liked these 2 and I like these 2, he likes this one, it's a good chance I'm going to like that one. And that's what reviews are about, I guess, to help guide people, not to give you the exact experience you're going to get, but majority of the time it's going to give you an idea on what to expect. High stim, 600 milligrams of caffeine, it's going to hit you like a fucking train, right? You may get a different experience, but you get the idea. Same with taste. Taste is subjective, but if you go to a channel that likes chocolate protein, they're going to have a good idea on chocolate protein. But if you wanted to taste, I don't know, fruity amino cocktails or whatever, they may not have the best idea. So you find someone who reviews those frequently. I think it's a good, you make the questions interesting, but it makes some good points. But I would say that it's a good guide. Reviews are a good guide and help you, I guess, make your decision and put you in the right direction. So long as they're true.
Shane, and this is a serious question. It's not meant to cause shit or anything like that. But yeah, but do you think that because you're not getting paid, I think that, and I've seen your reviews. The reviews are actually very, very spot on, because you actually do review, and you can tell even by the tone that it's personal opinion, and you can tell by the tone that it's it's not biased. But the consumer is more inclined to believe you, and like you said, possibly go and purchase the product, very, very possibly, rather than from a channel that is known to be getting paid for reviews. I think that, if the consumer knows that somebody's getting, forget about review channels, just in general, if somebody knows that somebody's getting paid when he is reviewing a product or a service versus somebody who's not getting paid, he's inclined to believe actually the one who is unbiased far more. And that's what I meant about changing the way.
It's hard though, because people who are out there looking for guidance and reviews aren't going to know. There's no way they're going to know. There's no way they're going to go to one channel and the other channel, or this site and this site, and they'll be like, oh yeah, he's definitely full of shit. Like, I mean, it's going to come off sounding the same. So I mean, it's just I guess it's. I would say more times than not, it kind of sucks because people will. It's the distrust thing. Like someone will go to a review website and be like, "Oh, this is a great product. I'll try it." They're like, "I heard it was shit," and then their friend will be like, "Didn't you know they get paid for their shit?" And then they're never going to believe, or they're very unlikely going to believe any review channel moving forward, even if it's me or someone else. It's kind of like supplements. You'd be like, "Oh, I'll pay $60 for a pre-workout," and it's not Assassin. It's some other thing that's over the top fucking price and talking shit. It's game changing, and they'll be like, "Well, that's ridiculous." And then they'll come across Assassin and be like, "Your pre-workout is $60? Well, that's gonna suck ass because I just had one that was $60." So it creates this distrust. So I guess the best you can do, like you're saying, like they may trust me over someone else, is you just hope in the long run that your kind of reputation can kind of get out there. But people who are on the internet looking for guidance, who are new to the industry, which most of them are, they're not likely going to be able to. Because if I were to put on my site, I'm unbiased and honest, the other person who's unbiased, who's not unbiased, is going to go put that on their site too. So it's it's an endless. You just hope reputation wins, I guess, and brands that like you yourself will share the honest ones, and you can kind of build reputation and awareness that way. But it's impossible to get new customers to believe you over someone else because they have no reason to believe any other one. They're nowhere for them to tell apart unless finding out the wrong way.
Did you guys notice that Shane never do like a proper rating on his reviews? Like
like a star system or out of 10 or something like that.
Oh, the numbers?
Yeah, that's what I always loved about the Stack, because
I think that's
thought about it
bullshit.
though. I thought about it, but just
you know what? Many sites are like doing this system, for example, like let's say from 1 to 10 or like stars or those kind of bullshit, And Shane always like only writes the article, and he makes pointers. So let's say positives, negatives, and the summary of the entire review. That's what I always like to see. Just like unbiased, I would say, a review. I don't know how it's gonna be a review of the Gaspari green, but
I don't think I'm gonna. Well, see, because I don't like reviewing too. This is just like a small tactic of mine. So I don't like reviewing too many products from one brand. When we share news on 1,200 brands, right? And this actually happens. If I reviewed a brand twice in a short amount of time, I will get complaints. Being like, "Why haven't you reviewed mine? Have you looked at this? Oh, I see you reviewed these guys twice. How much do we need to pay to get this?" And I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes." So I literally, purposefully, I may review 2 products from one brand in a year. Very rarely do I do that. A lot of the time it'll be one in the year. Last year I think I did 2 for Core. No, I didn't do 2 for Core. I don't think I did. I did 2 for Ghost. I did Gamer and Energy. But they were like, "Oh, you should review greens," and I was like, "Well, if you got energy, I don't want to do 3 in like 4 months. I'm going to run into that problem, and I have that issue. Just yeah. So I do my best to spread them out. So I probably won't do greens. Hopefully people hear this anyway. But I'm gonna do the review on Super Bump. I think is coming next 2 weeks or so.
Okay, well then we'll keep everybody waiting with bated breath for that one.
It's a lot better than greens.
Well, you would assume. All right. Favorite type of cardio?
None.
Yeah.
I just want to do the fastest.
All right. Shane's favorite type of cardio is no cardio.
I just do walking.
Okay. Do you do interval walking? You walk really fast for 20 paces, and then you walk really slow for 5 paces, and then no, I'm just kidding.
I toyed with the walking and then running. It's just too fucking hard.
No, I hate running with a passion. I will never run for anything. I did a 5K once. I thought this is the dumbest fucking thing ever. I thought it was absolutely dumb.
Long distance running is like this, the salad of athletics. Sprinting, it's like swimming. It's like open water. the open water swimming where they do like the 5K, 10K. Oh my
Yeah.
fucking lord! Like, who wants to race for an hour?
Right.
It's ridiculous. No
Yeah.
one piled into the stadium for 100 laps, did they? No, they piled into the stadium for the half a lap, for the one straight.
Yeah.
100 meters. That's how it goes.
Lukasz.
I got 3 types that I like: hike, assault bike, and rower.
Jesus Christ.
The Concept 2 rower. Those are my three top. And it all comes down on my prep, how I feel per day. Sometimes I'm just like, let's do an assault bike. So I will smash a session from like half an hour to like hour or something. And sometimes I'm just like, let's go for a hike to woods. So I'm just gonna grab my backpack and go for like 2-3 hours or something, So
Are you doing that every day or a couple of times a week? How frequently? And then what's the intensity on the assault bike or the rower? Are you doing kind of intervals with it, or is it more like just a moderate intensity for a prolonged period of time?
Moderate intensity, especially because when I'm doing it on an empty stomach, so I don't want to do any intervals, And as far as like, I'm doing cardio every day just because I feel good, I feel mentally, sharp. And it's just like keeps me in bay, keeps me in my zone. I can just like, smash a session at the same time, think about my day or anything like that. It's like more like a meditation stuff than like an activity to me. Because when I'm going to the gym, it's completely different story for me, and I'm buzzed up with the stims and everything. So yeah.
All right, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm also actually, I'm not a big fan of cardio. I mean, if I do it, I mean, I do it because I kind of have to. I mean, obviously there are benefits to it. Prior to getting ready for a fight for cardio, I would probably the one thing that worked for me was definitely sprints, like interval sprints. That seemed to be working the best. And assault bike is just absolutely unbelievable. That will build your cardio so fast. In absolutely no time. In fact, there is a team called AKA, they in San Jose, and they are actually known for their cardio. They are a kickboxing academy, but mostly MMA training, and they have one in Thailand. So I trained the one in Thailand. Specifically, I really wanted to increase my cardio so I wouldn't look like Mark Lobliner looked in the first round of that boxing match. Well, he looked terrible. He could barely breathe after a minute, so I never had the best cardio. So I went over there and I was expecting that I'm probably going to die because I thought they probably do cardio like nonstop. And I hate running. And I was told that the only thing that they do is assault bike 3 times a week. That's it. But they do it for 30 minutes. And the way they do it, it's actually very, very unique. So you do full speed, and the coach is actually checking how fast you go. You're not allowed to go below a certain level. So you go ridiculously fast for a minute. And Lukasz will tell you, going full blast for a minute is a bitch. And then after a minute, you have to jump off the bike and do something else for a minute. It can be push-ups, it can be planks, it can be shadow boxing, but you have to do something for a minute. After that minute, you're getting back on a bike for a minute, and you're going back and forth 15 rounds each, which gives you half an hour, and you do that 3 times a week. So I said, like, okay, this is easy. I mean, I can do it. It's only 30 minutes. And oh my God, that was a killer. But cardio improved in no time. I mean, it was just, it definitely worked. But did I like it? No, I hated it. And today when I just lift weights, the only thing I'll do is probably on an empty stomach, something like a treadmill, 30 minutes before breakfast or after a workout, and that's pretty much it. But I do recognize the benefits, of course.
Okay. I do a lot of walking, especially this year. Before that, I was fairly sedentary outside of like my dedicated interval or cardio day. As far as modalities, I hate running. I would rather do 1,000 box jumps any day of the week than do any kind of steady state running. Even as a kid, I never liked that. I'll sprint back and forth on like a basketball court if we're playing basketball or doing something like that. Don't make me run. That is miserable. I like doing shadow boxing's good. Punch kick combinations on a heavy bag, just given martial arts background, that'll if you're doing it right, that'll jack your heart rate up pretty good. Body weight circuits, I like intervals with body weight circuits for cardio. That's good. Or just going on like a really, really long walk around the neighborhood or whatnot. Most days I'll probably walk for like an hour or 45 minutes at a time. And do that maybe once or twice a day
on the
for
beach.
cardio. Huh?
Long walks on the beach.
Long walks on the rolling hills of Austin, Texas.
You know, it's funny because years ago I would do for cardio, like specifically to get better, to increase my cardio in a ring, I would go and do running, which I absolutely despised. I hated it. A couple of miles, just running, and I hated it. But what I did notice is that I was doing good. I was getting better and better and better, but my performance in terms of in a ring was not really improving at all. I was still getting tired. And I remember I trained with this amazing coach in Vegas, and I told him, like, what the fuck do you do for cardio? It just seems I suck. 2-3 rounds and I'm tired, and I used to be a lot more muscular, so maybe it has to do with that. But my cardio is just not good. It's terrible. So he asked me, what do you do for cardio? I said, well, old school running. He goes to me, well, it's stupid. He says, we evolved. We evolving in anything, in training, recovery, how we perform. And he said, by running, you're going to get better at running, not at fighting. Your cardio is your cardio is not going to improve. He says, if you want to improve your cardio, he says, I would suggest either swimming, or he says, I would suggest just hitting the pads, hitting the bag, doing sprints, doing stuff that kind of like is very similar to the fight itself, where there are times when you attack, so there is cardio that you need, and there are times where you actually, you're just defending yourself, so there is not as much expenditure. So he goes, that's the type of cardio that you need. And you know what? I stopped running. I mean, I didn't run at all. Assault bike, sprints, bag work, just like you said, Robert. Swimming, I'm not a good swimmer, but swimming definitely helped to an extent. But that's it. But I think that old school approach that, you have to run. I know some people who are running 10 miles, 15 miles a day. And I just probably the beating that your knees take, just incredible. And I don't see any benefit in it. I just don't.
We used to do swimming training back in the day. 2 hours twice a day. And we used to do running on camps. We'd make this do running in between. We were all absolute shit at running. And we're just like, what the fuck, man? We train like 2 hours a day. Like we would do, and there's no rest in those sessions. Like, and it just doesn't translate. The cardio from the swimming does not translate. And like some of the better long distance swimmers would just, I think you get the only probably gain is that if you're a distance swimmer and you try distance running, you have that mindset of the pain that you get into, like being exhausted and you're about to push through. But we were all shit runners. I remember no one was a star runner, and one didn't make the other one better and vice versa.
Before we tackle this question, everybody that's tuning in on the live screen, if you guys have any questions you want us to answer, or else we'll just keep rolling through these topics that we got here. But if you have any questions or you want to chime in with anything, feel free to post it up. You don't have to just sit there and listen to us wax rhapsodic about these topics.
Hey, Robert, the question is, why is Apollon's 50-50 not as good as Isolate?
So is isolate the best protein? Who wants to take the lead?
Robert's taking the lead.
I'll answer it, and then of course Robert can add his scientific and probably more accurate approach. So the thing is that actually it goes back to egg whites. It was very, very popular to drink egg whites, and egg whites are obviously very, very fast digesting protein. Isolate obviously is the preferred version of whey protein. Of course, it's the best form of the whey. It has the highest percentage of protein content. So if we're talking about the whey protein, then isolate is probably the way to go and the preferred way to go. And but I always I paid attention to the fact that every time a bodybuilder would train, they would have whey isolate, and it was always advised. And I remember writing diets myself that you have a post-workout shake, and then within an hour you have to eat something. You have to go and have an actual meal, and it made perfect sense because the whey isolate goes right through you. I mean, it's a very fast digesting protein, and within an hour you basically, I mean, so to speak, maybe not in a catabolic mode, but at the same time, you're definitely, not getting enough nutrients, and your body doesn't have the constant stream of aminos and proteins in your body. So it's pretty much out of your body. It's good. It's great protein. It's very popular protein. But casein, in terms of quality, is great. I mean, it's absolutely great. It's phenomenal. I don't think that it's inferior to isolate, and I think it's pretty much proven. And it's long. It takes longer to digest. So I think combining the two was the way to go for us. And was it, Robert? It was University of Texas, right? That did the study.
I think it was Texas A&M that did it.
Yeah, that isolate and casein are superior to just isolate. So it's great. I think isolate is phenomenal. We are thinking about releasing our own isolate just because there is always demand for it. But is it the best form of protein? I don't think so. I mean, among the best.
I will answer. This is the reason I made Protein Wars, is because it's a tricky thing to suggest what is, like, I can say my number one pre-workout and people are like, oh yeah, that makes sense, that's a pretty good one. You say this is the best protein powder, people be like, well, I'm vegan. I was like, oh well, fuck. And it's like, I don't like whey. Okay, well, it's just there's so many different things that play a role. So for me, my best whey isolate is my favorite. And it is the leaner one, it is fast absorbing. But my reason behind this is, back in the day, I did used to split casein. I had a blend, and I had isolate. Isolate was for after training, casein was for bit, and then whey was if I needed to get a meal in here or there. And I mean, I wasn't rich, still not, but I didn't have a lot of money, and it was expensive to buy a bunch of each one, and it was like and what to spend a lot of money in one go was tough for me. And so now, and back then, I'm all about 1%. I've said this 1,000 times, but the catch is I don't think that when I was having casein before bed versus just a whey isolate dominant blend, I didn't think I gained anything. If I was a bodybuilder and I was going for that percentage that I wasn't going to feel, but knew in my heart of hearts that it was better for me, then yeah, I would do it because I got a chance of winning the Mr. Olympia and blah, blah, blah. Shitloads of money on the line. But this is a rabbit hole thing for me. If I have a choice between a blend and an isolate, and like, I'm not really gonna care. I prefer isolate, but I'm not gonna buy both. I'm just gonna go with whatever, because again, I've had the two, I've experienced the two. I've never felt that it was worth buying the different proteins. I didn't think I gained a huge amount from it. Like I never felt like super hungry when I had whey isolate. I never felt like more full when I had casein. I didn't know that. I'm not saying that other people won't. I may just be stupid, but I've just and isolate for me has worked well because I can throw it in my post-workout shake. Goes great with my smoothie in the morning. And the other issue that I have is whey concentrate blends or protein powders that use a lot of whey concentrate that don't really tell you the percentage. I shit myself, not literally, but when I have bad whey versions, I've ended up in the bathroom more times than not. So you can obviously tell whey isolate dominant blends, but I've had a blend that's had mostly whey isolate on the label, but I'm assuming the whey concentrate version was shit and the percentage was too close, and I was going to the bathroom a lot. So now I just try and keep my distance from blends because, I mean, it's not like you can half dose the protein to alleviate the bathroom problems. You would just, so I stick to isolate. If I can do a blend, I stick to the blends that I've had and don't have problems with. But for me, Those are my reasons as to why whey isolate is the best for me. I wholeheartedly believe casein is good for slow digesting, feed your muscles over time. Isolate's fast absorbing. Blends are a great approach. It's just I don't want to be buying 3 different proteins, and I've never really seen a huge gain from it in my experience. Everyone
Lukasz?
can shit on me.
Lukasz, anything to add?
Yeah, so quick story from my side. So basically, when I was in my college years and I was doing my master's degree, I was writing about the influence of whey protein on human body. So that was my thesis, and that's what I was like studying and trying to to write about my work and everything. So it took me like one full year just to like study all different kinds of proteins, separate them into like all categories, and just like try to use them individually, see the benefits of every fraction, and based on that do my base my opinion on that. So I was like studying how the isolate is working on human body, the concentrate, hydrolyzate, casein, and other stuff. And there was this dogma, that this fraction works better for human body because it's like super quick, in as far as absorption, and this one is slower, so that it's gotta be worst or something like this. So I never agreed with that, and I was like, why you don't like try to stack them and get the best of both worlds? So basically, as Robic has his product, let's say he has the isolate combined with casein, that gives you this great optimization. And I think that in our industry, we should strive for this optimization effect. So we should get something from both worlds that will give you this, overall benefit. So if I could like get, for example, one of each fraction, the best of every, let's say from isolate, something what's, let's say, it's quick absorption, and casein, which gives you me the full spectrum of amino acids, but the absorption is slow down. So I can like even after not eating for 3, 4, 5 hours, I still have amino acids in my bloodstream, just to for my purpose, just to let's say fuel my workouts or fuel my body throughout the day. Then I would definitely choose blends. So as Shane said, it's also it all comes down to preferences and your goals. But I think that by choosing blends is more optimized. And in my personal opinion, when I'm like going with the protein powders, I always like choose blends. So that's something that I always preferred, and probably always will. I never go with just one fraction just because. And I also think that from the taste and this standpoint is also much better. The mouthfeel is way better when it comes to like blends. Plus, you can do all different crazy recipes, from sludges to pancakes to other different stuff. So that's also like an extra benefit. So that's what I would go with.
Yeah, I guess considering the question, it says, is isolate the best protein? And I mean, this is probably born out of supplement companies saying, hey, isolate is the best, the purest, the cleanest protein. So, if we rewind back and look at the different classes of whey protein, so we got whey protein concentrate, and the issue with whey concentrate is that it's got such a wide variability. So it could be anywhere between like 35% all the way up to 80% protein by mass. Now, if you're going with a good quality company, somebody that that lists on the label, we're using WPC 80, that's great. So that means with WPC 80, means that 80% by mass has got to be protein. The rest is going to be carbohydrates, fat, lactose, things like that. So the reason why many people experience GI distress from whey concentrate is probably because the company's using a really shitty concentrate that's maybe a WP60 or a WP7 that's got tons of lactose in it, and that's why you get a little rumble in your tummy. But if you're using like a WPP,
little.
go ahead, Sean.
A little rumbly.
Little rumbly. And if you if you look at the supplement facts between like a WPC 80 and a WPI 90, so whey protein isolate's the next grade up from whey protein concentrate. Isolate's got to be minimum 90% protein. It can be up to 95% protein, but a minimum by law has got to be 90%. But if you actually, and so companies will say, well, we have so much more protein. If you're looking at a 30-gram scoop of protein, WPC 80 versus WPI 90, we're talking like 1 gram either way. So you're going to have maybe like 25 grams of protein in the isolate versus 23 or 24 in the concentrate, and 1 to 2 grams of carbs in the isolate versus maybe 4 or 5. So I mean, there's not like this huge night and day difference. It's not like a whey protein isolate 30-gram scoop is going to have 30 grams of protein, and a scoop of whey protein concentrate WPC 80 is going to have 15 grams of protein. The differences aren't that big, assuming you're using high-quality versions of both. Hydrolyzed whey, the hype was that since it's pre-digested by all these chemical enzymes, it's going to be even faster digesting than whey, which whey is already pretty freaking quickly digested in the body. But this hydrolyzed whey, it's already somewhat broken down, so even faster and better amino acid replenishment, faster gains, and all that. Except they've done the studies, and it leads out to similar gains in size and recovery at the end when they're comparing hydrolyzed whey versus whey concentrate, and even against casein, they've had the same things. So do I think isolate is the best protein? No, so what's your definition of best? Is it least processed? Is it the highest amount of protein per gram? So if we're going for like least processed, then that would mean whey concentrate is better than isolate, since it's one step removed in processing than whey isolate is. If we're going for protein content, isolate has a little bit higher protein, but you're trading off some of the texture and the mouthfeel compared to concentrate. And then that's why I kind of like the blends. Yeah, there's research showing that blends are a little bit better than whey protein isolate or concentrate by itself, as far as muscle protein synthesis. But like we're talking over the span of like 15, 20 years of training, is it going to have any significant impact? I'm not inclined to believe so. It's going to all work out its way in the end anyway. So I just, for my money, I like a blend personally of like isolate and casein, just because you get the really thick mouthfeel, you get the sustained release of amino acids into the bloodstream. You also get the rapid spike from the leucine portion that's in there. Where else was I going with this? So yeah, isolate the best. No, that's mostly marketing jargon from supplement companies, because you can also, in that refinement, depending on if they're using the cold processed or if they're using some kind of heat processed whey, you can lose some of those beneficial biofractions, like those immune boosting compounds that are naturally inherent in whey protein concentrate that might be removed in the refining process when they're changing the concentrate into an isolate. So as long as you're getting your whey concentrate from a reputable company, you should be getting a WPC 80 and shouldn't have any issues. Yeah. But if you want to be extra careful, you can go to an isolate. Just realize it's a little bit more processed, it's a little bit more expensive than concentrate is, but in the end, go with what you can afford and what tastes really good, because there's too many great tasting proteins to settle for a crappy tasting one. Thoughts on Zynamite? Has anybody tried it out here?
I would love to hear Robert's opinion on this.
Lukasz, have you tried it yet?
No, not yet.
No, Robbie?
We all would love to hear Robert tell us all about Zynamite.
For the if you want to get really nerdy and into the weeds, go to supplementengineer.com. I have a 5,000 word article on all things Zynamite, going into the pharmacokinetics of it, the few studies that have been done on it thus far showing what it does. But at a high level for the listeners, it is a standardized extract of mango leaf. So and the standardized alkaloid, it's at greater than or equal to 60% mangiferin, which is a fun little alkaloid. It's got a bunch of different antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties, but it also acts as a COMT inhibitor, so catechol-O-methyltransferase inhibitor, which COMT is the enzyme that degrades dopamine and norepinephrine in the body. So by inhibiting that, you are getting longer elevations in dopamine and noradrenaline in the body, so that should lead to greater feelings of mood, motivation, focus, concentration, motor control, things like that. So when you pair it with caffeine, which is a natural energy booster and a dopamine agonist, so it causes a release of dopamine in the body, stacking it with a COMT inhibitor like Zynamite or mangiferin or whatever should lead to longer feelings of mood, motivation, focus. So it's kind of like teacrine in that way, in that it's like an extender of caffeine, but it works via a different mechanism. So teacrine works as an adenosine antagonist, so it blocks the adenosine receptor, which caffeine does as well, but it hits a different receptor on the adenosine. It hits a different spot on the receptor. So caffeine is an orthosteric modulator. So it binds, it's kind of like akin to kicking in the front door if you're trying to get into a house. Teacrine, it binds allosterically, which is kind of like slipping in through an open window. And that's when you stack those two together, you get that really long, like 6-hour high of caffeine when you stack those two together. Zynamite has been shown to have some pretty cool neuroprotective properties, some other fun little neuroactive things. Again, you can see the full article where I get into all the nerdy science on the Supplement Engineer website. Anecdotally, I've got, I think 100 grams worth of powder here. I've used it 8 or 10 times, stacking it with caffeine, and I've used dosages between 250 all the way up to 400. It's been kind of uneven for me. Some days you can really feel like, hey, I feel energized a little bit longer. Other days I don't feel much of anything, and it's kind of had that effect where if you took caffeine, teacrine, and dynamine all together, where you kind of feel like this initial surge really quick, and then you bottom down real fast, like where you almost feel like you don't want to do anything. So it's going to take a little bit more tweaking to find out my optimal dose. Is it a replacement for caffeine? Absolutely not. Could it have a fun stacking with caffeine? Possibly. I think it needs more testing for me personally. So, yeah, that's where we leave it at that. And there is another form of Zynamite called Zynamite PX, where you use 420 milligrams, and that's been shown to improve athletic performance. So that may be coming out in a couple of pre-workouts soon.
That was as informative as I was hoping.
I try. I do my best here. I'm prone to seasickness in my job, but I still want to get my workout in. Should I take a GABA supplement? Robbie,
Wait,
go.
what?
I honestly, I don't know. I don't know the answer. I mean,
Am I missing something?
Yeah, exactly. That's my thoughts.
I'm confused.
I'm very confused, but hold on. There is a pre-workout that I saw. I think it's that Dark Energy or whatever, the one that supposedly has DMA or whatever. There is a huge hype about it. And they have, it's pretty well dosed if it contains what it's supposed to contain. So it's pretty well dosed in terms of energy. It's some kind of like a version of Assassin, I guess. But one of the ingredients is GABA. And to be honest with you, it raised my eyebrow because I did not understand that. Just like I don't understand why anyone would throw in theanine, this one is even more so. So I'm not going to try to pretend that I understand why, and I'm not going to criticize either because maybe there is a reason, but to me it makes no sense. So I think, Robert, this is on you.
What is he meant to be saying I'm prone to sleep sickness?
No, seasickness. And I was going to get to that first. I was mostly
I'm just lost.
Screwing with Robbie.
If the question is like in a pre-workout or around workout, that's one question.
I'm assuming he wants to better his sleep.
No. He's getting motion sickness from his job, is what he's saying. And so
is GABA meant to sort of alleviate that?
Yeah, and that's what there's a 2019 study called
Jesus.
There's a 2019 study called the Neural Basis of Motion Sickness. And what they found is that if you take a GABA-B agonist, this GABA-B agonist called baclofen, it causes suppression of motion sickness. So there's different receptors in the stomach. So there's acetylcholine receptors and serotonin receptors. And when those get activated, that can lead, that's what these researchers are thinking is contributing to motion sickness. So when you take a GABA-B agonist like baclofen, it suppresses that activity and causes some modulations with the neurotransmitter systems in the body and helps alleviate motion sickness. So if you take a strong GABA agonist like baclofen, which is going to cause an increase of GABA levels in the body, that may help to reduce motion sickness.
I could be wrong here, but isn't there the inherent problem that if you take this to alleviate the seasickness, you may also just want to go to sleep?
That's my point. Yeah, that I
Maybe.
understand in terms of like getting my workout, and so that means taking it prior to the workout. So as a pre-workout, a part of the pre-workout, that's what confused me in terms of like seasickness, and maybe like based on the study that you just said, it makes absolutely sense.
Is it the same dose? Like, is it that
No,
typical like few grams?
No, baclofen is a prescription drug. So typically,
Oh,
with like if you're taking free-form GABA, we're going to be looking somewhere in like 1 to 3 grams of the range. Baclofen.
Yes,
is
yeah. I
not.
thought he was talking about a GABA supplement.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm getting to. So, GABA is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter in the body. So it slows down the firing of neurons that's going in there. So why they would put it in dark energy is that you've got all these stims, but raising GABA levels a little bit might help take the edge off the stims and kind of give you that refined focus. Same thing that when you stack caffeine with theanine, theanine's main action is to increase levels of GABA in the brain. So it brings that calming sensation. So for getting back to Chapilla's question, should you take a GABA supplement? I mean, if you don't have access to baclofen, maybe. But you're going to have to be very careful with the dose. A lot of people, some people have, when I've heard anecdote where you take a really high dose of GABA, you get this feeling like somebody's pressing on your chest and you have difficulty breathing.
I want to say it. Yeah.
That is, I get it. I get it usually for 3 grams, 4 grams.
Yeah, so I've never had that issue. Start on the low dose of that Chapilla. Start with maybe like 500 milligrams per gram, or try.
It's not a pressing on the chest. It's like a shortness of breath. Like there'll be like a few minutes after you have it, you'll be sitting there, and then you'll just be like, and then you'll try and breathe through, and then it'll just kind of go.
You can't take the deep breath, right?
Yeah, well, imagine taking that then pre-workout. You're gonna feel fucked up.
Yeah,
it goes. It does fade pretty quick.
Stuck with,
Yeah. What you may want to try, Chapilla, instead of going straight to a GABA supplement, maybe try 100 to 200 milligrams of L-theanine, which is going to increase GABA levels in the brain, and also stack that with 300 milligrams of lemon balm, because lemon balm acts as a GABA transaminase inhibitor. So GABA transaminase is the enzyme that degrades GABA levels in the body. So you're going to be attacking it with 2-level symptoms, similar to what you would do with like alpha GPC and huperzine. You're going to provide substrate to increase GABA levels in the brain, and you're also going to prevent its breakdown. So maybe 300 milligrams of lemon balm with 100 to 200 milligrams of theanine, and that might help give that a shot. And you could see.
Dude, take Lukasz's approach. Just have more stems.
So yeah, so that is that. All right, and the final question for today. Thoughts on Kanna?
I mean, I feel the silence universally agrees that Robert once again. I talked about Kanna all this week with my wife and my daughter, and I assume Robert is the same. So I feel Robert, you can take this one. I think.
Have any of you used Kanna in any supplements?
Yeah. I mean, I have, and I know what it's for, but I mean, it's one of those ingredients though, where it's kind of like, I mean, unless you know the science behind it, you're not really going to be able to take a pre-workout and be like, what did it kind of do? I mean, I've heard people feel a little more like, it's kind of like the theanine benefits, like taking the edge off a bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when I take a pre-workout, even with Kanna, the last thing I'm thinking is, oh yeah, I feel a little bit easy going. It's not really. I mean, I take a pre-workout, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm smashing some weight and destroy my body, and it never crosses my mind that I would stop and be like, yeah, just a little bit edgeless. This is easy going pre-work. No, it's never the case for me. But I'm sure, and I had this discussion with the gorilla chemist. He fucking loves that shit. He was, if I remember, he was one of the first ones to use a big dose of it as well. And he's a big fan of it. But I would like to hear the scientific background repeated to me, because I have obviously heard it before.
Okay.
So
yeah, I've used Kanna in a bunch of different supplements. Two of the ones that really jumped to mind, it was C4 Ultimate, like the first version of it had Kanna-E's in it. It's in Performax Labs, Vasomax, their stem-free pump one, or used to be, and it's also in their nootropic Nootropamax. So what the main alkaloid that you're going for in Kanna is called mesembrin, and what that does is it functions as a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So a lot of the times for depression, anxiety, doctors will prescribe selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, so SSRIs. Mesembrin acts as a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, so it prevents serotonin from being taken up, so it stays longer in circulation, which is going to have an anti-anxiety and anti-stress effect, lead to higher feelings of mood and focus, especially because serotonin is very involved with feelings of well-being, but it also has a little bit of impacts on appetite regulation as well, which is why you see 5-HTP a lot of the times in these appetite suppressant and fat burner supplements, because 5-HTP is the direct precursor to serotonin. So increasing serotonin will increase feelings of satiety, fullness, lead to less feelings of hunger. Again, this is kind of one of those ingredients that's a little bit in the vein of GABA and theanine when it's added to stim complexes. It kind of takes the edge off while also increasing feelings of focus during your workout. It's also been shown in a few rat studies to increase levels of GABA, serotonin, and dopamine. So those are all of kind of feeling, making your, again, mood, happiness, focus, motivation, feelings of good well-being. And to a lesser extent works as a PDE4 inhibitor, which for all of you, PDE4, phosphodiesterase 4. So PDE inhibitors are the main mechanism by which Cialis, Viagra works.
I was going to say.
Exactly. So PDE inhibition will have some downstream effects on CAMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate, increased blood flow levels in the body, which makes sense if you're going to put it in a pump formula. And overall, just kind of stress, getting rid of stress, improving mechanisms of improving memory, focus, and by reducing stress, you're going to have higher levels of productivity. Yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. You got to be real careful that the dose for Kanna Ease, which is the patented form of it, is 50 milligrams. Sometimes I'll see companies use 25. It is ridiculously expensive. I'm not sure what standardization the Gorilla Chemist is using, because I think he's just using 1,000 milligrams of the generic Kanna extract, not the one standardized to mesembrin. So I haven't messed with any just generic or broad spectrum Kanna extracts. Usually the one I've been with is the Kanna Ease one, or the Kanna extract standardized to not less than 0.5% mesembrin alkaloids, I think is what it is. But yeah, I like it. Obviously, don't stack that with any other kind of SSRI medications, because that's just not a smart thing to do. Be careful stacking it with MAO inhibitors as well, or ingredients or supplements that act like MAO inhibitors, like hordenine, because that may have some deleterious effects as well. Yeah. So yeah, all in all, I like it in certain situations, but I'm not. It's not something that I just generically recommend to everybody. Yeah. It can take the edge off the stimulants too much for me sometimes, but other times I haven't noticed it take the teeth out of a supplement. It's a case-by-case basis, depending on what else is going on in the formula.
I always thought it would have been better off in like a focus or a nighttime thing.
Yeah, it could definitely have a place in a sleep formula. I could see that. I like it in the nootropic. I mean, I like it in Nootropamax. It works really well in that formula. But there's a lot of high-powered stuff in there. They got CDP choline, 100 micrograms of huperzine, it's Noopept in there, 250 milligrams of caffeine. So you kind of need something to I guess, harness and kind of tamper it, so it makes you feel more like a nootropic and not necessarily a harder hitting pre-workout.
I'm curious how Kanna would work with Zynamite.
That would be interesting. So yeah, Zynamite's the COMT inhibitor. Kanna is a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. That would be interesting. Could be good for a nootropic combo.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right now. Yeah.
Here we go. Next iteration of overtime, Robbie. All right. You're welcome, Chapilla. Yeah, I'm glad that was the study that you were talking about as well. Cool.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it. I knew I was missing something. Didn't know what.
Late for the party.
Cool. All right, gents. For the listeners on the live stream, thank you for tuning in. My friends, thank you for joining me as always on these Saturday Lives. This is the highlight of my weekend. I very much look forward to this. For all of those you listening to this on the live stream and on the playback, if you like what we're doing here, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment below, give us a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever podcast listening platform you listen to. And if you have any other questions, email supplementengineer.com or send a message to either Robbie, Shane, or Lukasz. And we will see you next time on The Final Scoop.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.